I just want to thank Willie and Davi helping me with the preparation for this presentation, so you can ask them questions afterwards. During the introduction of a technology platform, the speaker opened with the following question. Who still use the old-fashioned roadmap to plan your road trip? 80% of the farmers answered yes. Shocked, he asked, why don't you use a GPS? The answer was simple. We do use a GPS, but the roadmap gives the full picture of our route that we are planning. The GPS gives us a picture of where we are now, but also gives us timely warnings of roadworks ahead, which we don't see on the roadmap. So we can make adjustments to plan our route during our road trip as new information comes available. Fruit cultivation is similar to taking a road trip. We need to know the route and the end destination, but we should also be able to make adjustments as new information becomes available. Just think of the challenges with the climatic conditions from the past season and differences between the last few years. We need to be able to adjust to these changes as new information become available. The thing is, the GPS has all the information. We just need to zoom in or out to get to the right picture. And the same goes for the data that we use on the farm today. If we are able to digitalize the information, it becomes powerful maps. Many of the older guests will remember the days when our cultivar basket was just red, yellow and green apples, and when we had a spray program of about 5 products that we used through the season. Today, we are more precise on cultivar and rootstock selection at higher densities. With many of these new cultivars, the performance depends on color development, where percentage of color as well as the intensity play a role, and we are more selective on where we plant our new cultivars. In addition, taste and texture becomes more important. This places a lot more focus on precise crop load management. Irrigation has changed from fixed to more precise scheduling systems. Additionally, we are facing more challenges with the following: crop protection programs, management of MRLs and residue levels to different markets, strict phytosanitary requirements for specific markets and resistance management, food safety inspections and social audits. These complexities and requirements takes time out of our day and potentially our feed out of the orchard. The challenge that we face: do we collect even more data? This might take more time to process and understand. Or how can we transform the data to become information? Can we slightly modify the way that we do things currently to turn them into decision support systems? This data can be devolved to increase our productivity and improve profitability for the grower. To quote from Miku Stander on the following: we are often told that we need to farm with more precision, yet how precise you are depends on what you are aiming at. And I've unfortunately seen how precision is done at the cost of accuracy, with accuracy being how close to the target you are and precision being your grouping. I believe the following 4 points are vital to use to more accurate and the following 4 points are vital for us to be more accurate and consistent, which is the intention behind modern precision farming. Firstly, farmers and advisors need to spend more time, effective time in the field, for this is where they influence the crop and the workforce. Secondly, you need continuity across your business with all of the production units using the same system over time. If you choose to change the system after 3 years, you need to own the data to move on. Finally, we need to spend more time actioning rather than editing and analyzing data. You can see how these things can help to give you as the farmer more clarity and certainty over time, and from the ability to make more accurate and consistent decisions. Professor Lee Kalsitz of the Washington State University, involved with the Smart Orchard project, in Washington State made the following comment. It seems that talk about data is everywhere these days, but data is only useful when it is converted into information that supports decision making. The Smart Orchard project shows how the data deluge can be channeled into supporting better productivity and profitability for the tree fruit grower. When you adapt something into your operations, it comes down to thinking about how the data lead to a decision that improves fruit quality and productivity long term. Let's start right. Do new orchard developments digital. Normally we have a fixed point weather station on the farm. With climatic maps, station data is turned into spatial data over time. If you put together all the data of surrounding weather stations, you will be able to choose the best site for your plant cultivar. Use spatial climatic data to plan for cultivar requirements. Choose your site carefully. This can lower the risk of planting an orchard in areas where they may underperform and lead to weaker profits than expected. Microclimates affect cold unit accumulation. You can compare sites with each other to make the best decision where to plant a cultivar with a high chilling requirement. As with cold units, you can also compare sites with each other when it comes to the accumulation of heat units. If you plan on planting an early cultivar, choose your site carefully. If timing is important, make sure you plant it in a region with the highest heat accumulation. You may end up on planting an early cultivar on a site with less heat units. Therefore, you will have a longer growing season and picking the cultivar later that you have planned for. Understand the potential for frost risk on your farm. You can identify high-risk areas on your farm and you can choose your cultivars that will fit the site best. You can also put the necessary frost protection measures in place, but the best option still stay to avoid high-risk areas, especially when you plant early flowering cultivars. As for good color development, specific for mid-season cultivars, make sure to choose your microclimates on the farm carefully when you are dependent on lower night temperatures for good color development on late apples. Traditionally, soil samples are taken at a single point within the orchard. In this photo, it's clear you can see the differences in the orchard, even from a Google Earth photo. Grid sampling allows us to cater for variation within the orchard. However, grid samples on an Excel sheet get lost in a file somewhere. If you have the data pulled into a platform where more information can be extracted, changes can be studied over time, where variation within the block can be addressed. The goal is to create a homogeneous growing medium for optimal orchard performance. Leaf samples are often still used in Excel sheets linked to an orchard. If it is taken with a GPS location, the spatial differences can be managed accordingly. Orchards can now be divided into smaller areas and managed separately. For example, you can use different chemical thinning programs in different parts of the orchard. If you can make decisions on orchard allocations and marketing challenge during harvest. We are familiar with the concept of orchards being classified based on vigor classes. If you use something like NDVI, we can classify the different zones into vigor classes to create vigor maps. Layer these data with yield maps allows us to investigate some of the causes for this variation. It's clearly that you can see that in your higher vigor zones, your production is lower. Now, you can plan your fertilizer programs and vigor control actions accordingly. Be aware that within zones, you will have differences. Be careful not to group poor growing trees together with vigorous trees. Differential treatments can be applied, like root pruning, girdling, and nitrogen application. to get vigor, canopy, size, and yield more uniform. Adding value with fruit counts. Fruit counts are often reported as averages for the orchard. Firstly, knowing that we have a lot of variation within orchards, we cannot be satisfied with large blind spots. We do not know how far apart the counts were made in relation to the size of the orchards. Too many trees being counted. Just zoom out and see the summary of the specific part in the orchard. Now, you can identify specific areas that needs attention, like the red square in this photo. And now you can do additional thinning or grooming if needed. How to decide on a representative tree? That is easier said than done. But if you have the GPS location of the fruit counts, you can do spot checks in the orchard and verify the numbers and have a look around to see if the trees are representative. Even if we count multiple trees next to each other, you will see differences between trees. You will find a low-yielding tree between two high-yielding trees. But the more counts you have in the orchard, and the more variation you have in your counts, maybe your forecast will be better. Finally, if platforms are sharing this information, it can be used to create calibrated yield maps. Now, with live data entering into the system, you can make adjustment to your hand thinning practices while the people are still in the orchard, or you can make corrections when needed. Fruit size measurements are often done in comparison to growth curves. This provides an early indication of your expected fruit size at harvest. In seasons, decisions can be made to try and manipulate the outcome. For example, you can do RDI during a certain part of the season, trying to reduce the fruit size if possible. With high crop loads, smaller fruit can be removed to get to the targeted fruit size. Bitter pit risks can be identified early. Should the fruit be too large, plans can be put in place to manage it with RDI, as I already mentioned. You can do early peel sap or small fruit and mineral analysis to determine the risk for bitter pit at harvest. It's clear that the orchard with the larger fruit has the highest percentage of bitter pit at harvest, although both orchards yield the same production. Fruit distribution helps with timely planning of orchard allocation for storage and marketing. Sizing with high-resolution cameras can give you a breakdown on the size distribution throughout the orchard. With irrigation, when we only get the answer on a piece of paper, we cannot really add value to any of the readings. Simplified things like soil moisture and observations called field tests that are done with an auger or a spade can become valuable information together with probe readings. In this slide, a lot of info is given into a short summary of all the field tests for the season. It's almost like a probe graph from a simple data. As good custodians of water use and management of water budgets, we have to audit our water strategies. We have all the info. If we change the way we group it, we can get valuable information from that. The field test in combination with the probe readings help to verify the probe calibration, but it leaves blind spots in the orchard. This is a more ideal situation. The data on this platform is able to summarize the ways that field observations are done with relation to the probe. One field test close to the probe helps to verify the probe calibration, while the other observations cover the rest of the orchard, helping you to manage the blind spots. If necessary, you can add additional probes in the orchard if the field test shows it. If these simple data points are captured correctly, it's even good enough to replace the probe during equipment failure. If we change the way we capture the data, it becomes valuable. We can even get an overall view of the entire farm from something as simple as a spade or an auger. And it is not technology, it's just order data captured correctly. For most of the farmers, this picture is clear. Apart from the information obtained from the maps is also required with special market inspections on your farm. We can clearly see if problems are spread over areas, varieties, or the whole of the farm, and you can also see the seasonal trend of a specific pest or disease. The green dots indicates that you've got no problem in the traps. The yellow dots is where you've catch fruit fly, and the red dots are clearly where you have hot spots and you need attention. Sample trees in the orchard opens on the app when the scout comes to the tree, indicates the date and the time, and is supported by photos of the pest and disease present. If the data is captured spatially, you can focus on areas where the pest or the disease is above the threshold. If you question the data, you can go to the orchard and you know where the data was captured, and you can do your own inspections, or you can refer to the photos that was taken at a specific spot. However, in some cases, the problem only occurs in certain parts of the orchard, while the rest was fine. In these cases, the problematic areas can be harvested separately or picking for juice, and you can pick the orchard that is not infected, and you can still use it for normal marketing without the risk of interception at the special market. When in doubt, go for a walkabout. When you do an orchard visit, when you do visit the orchard, make your observations electronically. The older people, we don't remember as good as we normally did. But now the information, everyone has access to the information. You can even go back to the previous season chemical thinning at the exact same location, or the person responsible for the nutrition on your farm can visit the parts of the orchard where you see the yellow leaves. Stop in different parts of the orchard when you visit it. You will see something new every time you visit. When you see a red dot on the map, you know that this specific task hasn't been completed. We all knew the value of good QC information. We cannot assess the current season performance or plan for the next season if we don't have the data from the past season. With good QC data, we can do proper planning on the next season for pest and disease management, managing fruit size and crop load. We need to tick the boxes to adjust for the new season. Very important, when you do work across different platforms, the biggest challenge is to keep the name of the orchard and the cultivar constant. It must match 100%, otherwise you will lose valuable information. I hope that this presentation was helpful on how to use platforms on your farm. When we start the implementation of software to capture our data in an orderly manner, it turns our data into systems. These systems can allow us to work more effective and accurate, and align our long-term actions. It builds continuity, makes our time spent at the orchard more effective. It does not take us out of the orchard, it just makes us more effective. It is like the old saying goes, the best fertilizer for your trees is the fruit grower's footprints in the orchard. Now, the fruit grower just knows where to walk. Thank you.